There are not many people who can say that they have done everything on their bucket list, but allow me to share with you someone who has. The stand up comedian and actor spent his early life hanging with jazz legends, then transformed his career to include TV, movies, books, stage, and even a musical album. His amazing demeanor attracted amazing famous friends, but still stayed a humble family man deep inside. Let me introduce you to someone who is just getting better with age, Mr. Billy Crystal. Billy spent his early years hanging out at his family's Commodore record shop. There, he met many jazz legends, but most notably, Miss Billie Holiday. Billie played an important role in Billy Crystal's life. She took him to see his very first movie, the movie called Shane, which actually starred Jack Palance, who Billy would later go on to star in City Slickers with. Billy and Billie had an amazing connection. They used to call each other Mr. Billy and Mrs. Billy. Billy recalled in his one-man Broadway show, 700 Sundays, the first time he heard Billie Holiday's Strange Fruits, which was recorded on his family record label, the Commodore record label. Through these jazz musicians, Billy also got to perform on stage for the very first time. On his 5th birthday, he attended a jam session with his dad and got up and danced to the music because the music just moved his soul. In addition to his love of jazz music, he began to do stand-up comedy right after college. He originally performed in a trio, but struck out on his own. During this time, him and his wife were parents to a small child, so during the day he was taking care of the baby, and then at night he would go into the city and try to get on stage. He was becoming very infamous for his impressions, including his one of Muhammad Ali. He then eventually made his way to TV and starred in the show Soap, in which he played one of the first openly gay characters named Jody. After Soap was canceled, he did go on to appear in many movies, including The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, Spinal Tap, and Monsters, Inc. He wasn't satisfied with just being an actor, so he decided to write his stage play, 700 Sundays, which chronicles his life with his dad, who he only had 700 Sundays with before he abruptly died when he was 15. He also has written several books, including his memoir, Still Fooling Them, and 2 books inspired by his grandchildren, I Already Know I Love You and Grandpa's Little One. When you are famous for doing impressions of people, you run the risk of them finding out and not particularly liking it. But in the case of Muhammad Ali, he didn't mind. In fact, he really liked Billy Crystal's impressions of him. So much that he actually began a friendship with him after the Dean Martin comedy roast of Muhammad Ali. He was so impressed by it, he referred to Billy Crystal as his little brother. They would remain friends for the rest of Muhammad Ali's life. Another important person in Billy's life that he befriended was Mickey Mantle. He was a baseball great from Billy's childhood who he got to meet several times and formed a friendship with. They were very close. Billy helped induct him into the Baseball Hall of Fame, and they even went on to Billy produced and directed a movie called 61, which was about Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris's home run race. This love for Mickey Mantle would show its head again when Billy was signed to a one-day Yankees contract. He got to be the designated hitter during a spring training game against the Pittsburgh Pirates. This was a gift to Billy for his 60th birthday. He says in his stand-ups or his book, Still Fooling Him, that his plan was to play one game and then immediately retire and throw the team a party. And he did just that. Throughout Billy's life, there is one common theme, and that is family. In his early years, he talks about his family at the record store and his relatives who helped, influence his comedy so much. But particularly important to him were his parents and his brothers. He was the youngest of three boys, and he grew up in Long Island. He did lose his father when he was just 15 years old, and after that, he had to really step up and take care of his mother because his brothers were away at college. He helped her find a job, and it just made them closer. He also speaks extensively about his love for his wife Janice, who he met one day on a beach. He says that she walked by in a bikini and he knew it was over. He was in love, and they've been together ever since. He also talks about his love for his two daughters, Jenny and Lindsay, and his four grandchildren. His grandchildren have had a significant influence on his life because he felt like his grandparents never really enjoyed them, so he's going to enjoy his grandchildren. One of my favorite things about Billy Crystal is he just keeps getting better with age. He doesn't want to slow down. In his book, Still Fooling Them, he talks about how he had seen so many of his relatives hit a certain age and give up. And here he is in his 70s, still looking for the next thing to do. I'm going to leave you with a quote of Billy's that I think everybody should live with. It says, "I'm going to just go on living and laughing and loving, and I hope you do too." Thanks.